it. It's just another level. So, oh, I miss her. I miss her. Those are all my qualms about life, adulting, the state of healthcare in America, New York City, impersonable doctors, stress, anxiety, and being 24. I hope you enjoy. Good evening. I am making my comfort chocolate chip cookies because I went through something really traumatic today. I had a migraine. I had a migraine. It was like the worst migraine I've ever had in my life. They asked me, like, out of 10, what is it? And I said 10, but I wanted to say 15. Like, whew, I still feel a little bit of pain, but right now it's at like a 3 out of 10. Basically what happened was around like 10 or 11 a.m. I started feeling like a headache, but you know, I have work, so I was just working throughout the day, and then it just kept getting like worse and worse. So I took 500 mg of acetaminophen, and then I took a nap. I took like a 2-hour nap because I couldn't look at anything. I could not function, and so I just kept taking a nap and like hoping that when I woke up it will be better, but it didn't. So I woke up and then I took another 500 mg, so now we're at 1,000, and nothing. It literally didn't budge. If anything, it intensified after I took that second medication. So it got so intense, like truly I did not know what to do with myself. I don't know if anyone has experienced a migraine that like consumes your whole body, but I did not know what to do with myself. So we went to urgent care. We were gonna go to the ER because it like it was an emergency, but the ER was far, and I felt like we'd be sitting there for forever while I was like needing somebody to look at me. We had an urgent care that was like a 5-minute walk, and so we walked there. The wait wasn't too long. Could not function. Like I was crying. I was crying the entire time to the urgent care. And then at the front desk, like the lady's like talking to me, and I'm just like, I can't, like, yeah, anyway. So the doctor saw me. He gave me I'm just browning my butter over here, but he gave me a shot in my butt. And when I said I've been through something traumatic today, that's actually what I was talking about, not the migraine. This shot that he gave me for the pain, granted, it really did help my pain. Like, he gave it to me. He said it should kick in like 30 minutes. It kicked in like honestly like 20 minutes, and I felt a sense of euphoria a little bit. But yeah, the pain really subsided, so thank you to him. But he was like, I'm gonna give you this shot. If I give it to you and it doesn't go away, like, you need to go to the ER. And so I was like, God, please let this work. And it did. And so I feel much better. I can actually talk. I was gonna edit my video today, but I don't want to I don't want to look at any screens. Perfect.
I'm sitting in right now, and pretty much every time that I come here,
yeah, there's that. I'm making cookies because I just like to do that. It relaxes me, it calms me down, and then you have delicious cookies at the end of the day. So I'm gonna do that, and then hopefully recover from this butt pain that I feel. Still so sore. I'm also taking out my hair because I have a hair appointment tomorrow morning. That probably should be the last thing I do because I just experienced a migraine today.
very lovely area, and I always started out at this little cafe that I'm sitting at.
Okay, Lucas is just telling me I should probably just have my afro for this week, next week, and get my hair done next weekend. I think that might be the best idea. Let me message her right now. Hopefully she doesn't hate me because it's literally tomorrow, but okay, I rescheduled that. That makes me feel a little bit better because my head is still hurting, and like I don't want to experience that pain again. Okay, the braider messaged me back and she has been so nice throughout this whole thing. I have to keep in my head that I'm not giving her a hard time, but there's a specific look with my braids that I want, and we kind of had to talk for a while to come to like an agreement on how the braids would look and like how I want them. And I don't know, advocating for myself like that sometimes makes me feel like I'm like doing too much, even though I'm not, because I'll go and sit there without saying anything and I'll come out with something that I didn't want, you know? It's better to just be upfront about what I want now. So she's been really understanding with that, and then now I'm like, oh, can I come next week instead? You know, it's probably not a good idea that I'm wearing a hat with a migraine, but I don't really want to show my hair, so this is just what I'm gonna have to do. Coffee for the first time because my sister was raving about the strawberry matcha, so I walked by it and I was like, oh, let me try it. It's not as phenomenal as I would have hoped. I thought I was gonna like get blown away.
So that's strawberry matcha?
Yeah, you can try it. I think froth is way better.
Is really good. Why is everyone making strawberry matcha right now?
I don't know, that's the new craze.
It tastes like matcha.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't taste any
strawberry, right?
strawberry at all.
That's how I felt. I was like, oh, this kind of just tastes like regular matcha. And there's a cafe that I like, or we like,
just a
in
sweeter version.
The Lower East Side, and it's called Froth, and it's really good. It's small. It's just they have the best strawberry matcha. So if you're in the Lower East Side, I would go to Froth. I wouldn't go to Blank Street. But I did love the aesthetic, and everything was super cute in there, and I get the hype. Like, I get why you'd go there, because it kind of feels like calming and zen, and you just kind of feel a little bougie when you walk in, which is so funny because do you remember when we first saw Blank Street and we were walking to church, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago? We got a free Blank Street?
Well, I went there, the first time I went there, yeah, they gave me a free one. Wow. Did you get it?
What is it?
I don't know.
I'm not expecting a package. You said you got a free Blank Street matcha? When? I do remember walking by Blank Street with you, and it was a new thing, and it was only black and white. And now they have this whole like green, like they rebranded, and it's like all green, and it's like huge. But I remember when it was just like a little coffee shop in the corner somewhere, and it was only black and white, and it looked like a coffee cart. I think it was like a coffee cart, and they would just bring it and like pop around, and now they have full-on stores. They've come a long way. I am proud of them, but I wouldn't really trek. I'm back from the doctor's. It was kind of inconclusive. I went there for blood work, most importantly, so I did get that blood work, and I'm gonna be on the lookout for the results and what my hemoglobin levels are and everything. And then I got a referral to a cardiologist and a hematologist, so I'm gonna make those appointments as soon as I get the chance, which should be right now. I probably should make those appointments right now. I feel like doctors are always just like, maybe it really is not that big of a deal, and I'm just worried for nothing. But I don't like it when like it's very serious to me and it's not serious to them at all, which should make me feel better because they are the professionals. So if it doesn't feel serious to them, then maybe I should just take it that it's not that serious. But I don't like it when something feels serious to me and it's not taken like as seriously as I am feeling. I was just gonna wash my hair today, but I'm realizing I'm not going anywhere today, so why go that extra mile? I will just wash my hair tomorrow. And yeah, because tomorrow I have brunch with Dawn and Olivia, and then we might go to the Sela, or I think we are for sure going to the Sela pop-up, which is happening right around the Lower East Side. So we'll go there. I'm trying to get the living sacrifice hat because I really love that hat. It's so good. And it's like, it's kind of like camouflage, like my bacalar hat, but it just says like living sacrifice on it, which is
Did
cool.
they collab with
Sarah?
Yeah.
No. I just came back from the Selah clothing pop-up and I got this top. So cute. I was experimenting with like a little baby tee like this for Death to Self to say like Jesus Freak on it, but I never got the fit right, and so I kind of abandoned that project. I made one sample. I feel like you guys have seen me wear that. Actually, I was wearing that in this vlog earlier, and I just didn't like how it came out, and I feel like Selah just got it right. So I'm just gonna wear this instead. I went with my friend Dawn. It was such a fun pop-up, and it was really... Hello? Why are you being weird? I got this hat, this living sacrifice hat. I've been eyeing this hat for forever, I think. I've been editing a little bit this evening, and Lucas and I are gonna go get some birria tacos. So that should be fun.
I can't imagine a future without her. One of the greatest things you can do in life.
Hello. You won't believe what I am. A blondie. Because blondes have more fun, am I right? I'm still getting used to it, so, you know, watch your mouth. But I think I'm starting to like it. Like, you guys know I don't really do any other colors. So this was like a big step for me, and transparently, when I saw this color mix on a girl, she was a couple shades lighter than me, so it looked much darker on her. I didn't put into consideration skin tones when I saw the color mix, and I was like, oh, that's a good color mix. I'm gonna replicate it because it looks like very golden on her. And this looks very blonde on me, so I'm still getting used to it. Like, I walked into the hair salon this morning and I low-key hyperventilated. I was like, I did not expect that color to be this brutal, this light. So yeah, this is a, if you're wondering, by the way, you want to know, this is a 27 and 613. And yeah, I've never done blonde before, so I'm still having a hard time adjusting to it, to be honest. Like I'm like, okay, it looks good. Like, if I really have the confidence, I can pull it off. But if I act like I don't like it, then it's gonna be ugly. So it's one of those things where you just really have to have the confidence to pull it off and be like, yeah, I did this blonde because I wanted to. It was definitely not a mistake. It was definitely something I fully wanted. I know we've reached that uncomfortable part of fall when the sun is like coming out later and then going back in earlier. Anyway, oh, I think Lucas is coming with groceries. He went grocery shopping. I'm about to head out to the my dental appointment. I haven't had a dental cleaning in so long. That's because I just, you know, you move countries, not countries. Hi.
Hey, babe.
You move states and you just don't bother like trying to find a new dentist or anything. And then there's so much with my health insurance. I had to figure that out because I started being on Lucas's plan from his work, so I'm like a dependent on his policy, and like it's a whole bunch of things. Adulting, I feel like I've been adulting a lot over the past 2 weeks, from so many doctor's bills, being on call with insurance, messaging people. I had to book a CT scan that got canceled because of insurance. I have a pap smear tomorrow. Dental cleaning right now. Dental cleaning right now. So there's just like a lot going on, and I'm really feeling grown. Like, I really don't have my mom. I don't have like my normal, you know, like there's one hospital I go to in Leominster, and that was the only hospital I went to. So I finally booked a dental appointment because I haven't had a cleaning in a while. And then also I had this like ongoing ear pain. If I sit down and break down everything, it's just gonna be a lot. But I was like having this ear pain, and it was from like jaw clenching. So Lucas was like, why don't you go see the dentist? And so that's what I'm doing, and we're gonna clean my mouth and then maybe bring up some other issues. I'm back from the dentist. Actually, that was at 10 a.m. I did a couple things since then. It's 6. Admittedly, I've been laying here on this couch for the past like 3 hours just scrolling. The dentist appointment went really well. Like, I hadn't gotten a clean in a long time. This is your sign to book a dental cleaning if you haven't in the past 6 months. But I hadn't gone it for a dental cleaning in like, honestly, years. I feel like the last time I did that I was maybe living back at home in Massachusetts, and that's like forever ago. So it was definitely good to get it. So many things. So my ear pain that I mentioned earlier, it like started last week, and it started around the same time that I had the really big migraine. So I kind of was thinking, are those two connected? But they ended up not being connected. Actually, I don't even know if they're connected. Who knows? Nobody knows where this migraine came from. I was supposed to have a CT scan, and they rescheduled it because of something about insurance, which makes complete sense. But it's also so funny, like, if somebody is requiring, or if the doctor's ordered a CT scan for someone, wouldn't you think that it's like kind of important? like oh yeah, like call your insurance and then let them do this, which should take 7 to 10 business days. But babe, like, if there was something happening in my head right now, like 7 to 10 business days. See, like, this is why the medical system in America is insane, and this is why people like just randomly find out that they're severely sick, or things just go unchecked. Because I've been realizing that this past 2 weeks. I feel like this past 2 weeks have been not very good on me now that I'm like sitting back and reflecting. Yeah, I just have been just going through a little bit too much more than I'd like. Coming back from South Carolina, that was mid-September. I had like a crisis on my leg, and that was because I was working at a coffee shop and they were blasting their AC. We were waiting for our flight. We got to the airport super early, so we were just waiting. We're like, oh, let's sit at this coffee shop and just like do work while we wait, because we're still on the clock. And we went to the coffee shop, and it was just, the AC was blasting. Like, everybody in there was like wearing a hoodie, and we're in South Carolina, it's warm. So after like 30 minutes, I started to feel like a dull ache, and I was like, oh, this is bad. And then I don't know why I stayed. I just was like just grinding on my computer, and then after an hour I was like, I need to leave. So I left, and I went back to our car. We had rented a car, and just turned on the heat. And I feel like that even made it worse, that like drastic change. But I didn't know what to do. And over the past like 2-3 years, I mean, my last major crisis was in 2020, and I'm fully healed by the grace of God. I say that, and I believe that, and I wholeheartedly believe that. But then over the past 4 years, like, I just get like mini crisis. And the reason why I still fully believe that I'm healed is because I have not been to the ER for a crisis in 4 years, and that's a miracle, because I was going frequently. And so I'm getting these, and I like just call them like mini crisis, and I feel like it's God's way of reminding me, like, you still have to take care of yourself. Even though you are healed, you just still have to take care of yourself. So like, I get these crises, which are not intense for me to go to the ER like they used to be. Thank God. Like, none of them have ever like crossed that threshold, but it's still painful nonetheless. Like, it's still so uncomfortable. It's still a throbbing in my leg. It's still painful. And this one was especially scary because this was like the closest I had felt to like, am I gonna have to go to the hospital? And I didn't want to believe that, because God, I thought we made a pact. Hello. And so thankfully I didn't, but it was really one of the scariest days of my life because I'm getting this pain and it's like increasing as the hours go by. I'm praying. I've taken ibuprofen. I went to buy icy hot at the pharmacy in the airport, all these things. And I'm just pacing back and forth the terminal. People are looking at me like I'm crazy. Lucas is like massaging my leg at the boarding gate. Everyone's like just sitting there waiting for, you know, us to be boarded. And Lucas is just like, and then I'm like going back and forth. Like, it was crazy. It was intense. And what made it scarier was that we were about to board a flight in 30 minutes, right? I didn't know if it was going to escalate while I'm on the plane. Thankfully, the flight was only 2 hours, and then when we got home, the pain had subsided. But the fear of not knowing, am I going to need to go to the ER for this? And then I have a plane to catch in 30 minutes. I have a plane to board in 30 minutes. What do? I was so, even reliving it now, it was so scary because, yeah, like over the past 4 years, you know, the crises have been minimal. Like truly, I can count on one hand how many pain episodes I've had, but I've never had to go to the ER for any of them because I'm like, this is manageable, this is good, this is okay. And this one, I was like, I really wasn't sure. I'm looking at Lucas, he's looking at me like, can you make it? And our flight is about to board. Like, what if this happens on the flight and I'm just screaming in pain? I know how that pain feels when I have to go to the ER. Like, it's just another level. It's like, okay, pain. And then this is like, you know, just another level. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just another level. And I didn't know if it was going to get to that level on the plane. So I'm just tears the whole way. I'm in my AirPods listening to worship music. The turbulence on the plane was also crazy because there was like some sort of like storm. So the plane, the pilots and flight attendants are like, guys, there's gonna be crazy turbulence on this plane. Just warning ya, just so you don't get scared. And I'm over here like bouncing back and forth because my leg is throbbing. Anyway, yeah, so that was in September. And then I feel like little things just have been happening. My migraine earlier in this vlog, that was last week, yeah, and that also felt like a crisis in my head. And then this ear stinging pain that I think is connected to my jaw clench. It's just a whole bunch of things, you know, and I'm just like, what's happening? Can I get a break? Can I please catch some rest? And so my dental cleaning was good, but I really just wanted to see a dentist about like my clenching, because ever since I realized, oh, this sharp ear sting that just came randomly out of nowhere, ever since I realized, oh, it might be connected to my jaw clenching, I've been trying to unclench my jaw whenever I feel like I'm clenching it, which is every 5 minutes. I'm noticing I'm clenching my jaw every 5 minutes. It's like honestly like involuntary. And so they recommended Botox, which is like $2,000. And then they were like, oh, we could also make you a custom night guard, $700. Like, hello, no thank you. I don't want none of that. I'm gonna buy a mouth guard on Amazon and just kind of wear it at night and see if that relieves it. Already though, I'm starting to notice a difference. My ear hasn't had that stinging pain for like 3 days now, which is huge because for a whole week I was having them multiple times a day. It was like someone just like zaps you with like electricity. It felt like an electric shock on my ear cartilage, or like a bite, like an insect bite that just like, it starts like an ant is biting you and then it intensifies like a sharp like zap. And at first I thought it was a bug. I was like swatting it away because I thought it was a bug. Turns out it wasn't a bug. It just, and then it happened the second time. I'm like, wait, it's not a bug. So there's that. I think I'm just starting to realize like how hard medicine, anything medical, is when you're doing it like as an adult. I've always had my mom do all these things for me, and, you know, take me to the hospital, take care of like insurance, like everything is like in order. And I really took that for granted, because now I'm just like on the phone with insurance people for an hour, and I'm just getting transferred and transferred and transferred. Things are getting rescheduled. I'm showing up to appointments and they're like, oh, this isn't like showing up, you need to do this. It's just like so scattered. And I think partly due to where I live, New York City, I feel like it's just chaotic energy everywhere. Just chaotic energy everywhere. I can't get straight answers. Doctors are just like being really kind of like aloof. It's so wild. Like the doctor I saw today, like at first I saw a lady who did the cleaning herself, loved her, adored her. And then the actual doctor that I booked with, who's like staff, I guess it was, just sitting there just looking at me like this. Oh, okay. He gets up, he's like, yeah, you should get Botox. Have you tried a mouth guard? I'm like, no, I haven't tried a mouth guard. Like, would you recommend that, or like which one would you recommend? He's like, both. I'm sorry, the energy was just like, it was really making me upset. I don't know why, but everyone just has this kind of like lackadaisical vibe to them, and I'm sure they worked very hard to be doctors and all the things, but I just feel like I'm not being taken seriously. And I think, I mean, I don't know, who knows. The clenching jaw is like the least of my problems. What I'm really upset about is like the head thing. Thankfully my headache is no longer there. It was like hurting consistently for a while, like a couple days even after I got the shot, for the pain to go away. So that's good. I booked an appointment with a hematologist, but that's all the way in November. But I think I just need to see one, just because, you know, that's like, they specialize in blood, and I think it's good for me to go see a hematologist. I used to have one in Massachusetts, and then I don't anymore since I moved. So, oh, I miss her. I miss her. I'm just really missing the quality of care. I think this is what I'm missing, the quality of care that I had in Massachusetts. I'm finding that there's a stark difference in the quality of care in New York City, and I'm sure it's because they see so many people, and it's like a revolving door. You know, this is like a very transient city. People are in and out all the time. So these doctors, and I'm like booking them on ZocDoc, like these doctors they're seeing anybody. They don't really have an emotional connection to you. And so I think that's just where the disconnect for me is happening. It's like everyone's just kind of like being so like whatever about me, and I've never had like doctors be like, you know, whatever about me. Like they've always, you know, they know my history, they know everything about me, because I've been going to them since I was 12, since I moved to Massachusetts. So they know everything, and I'm seeing the same ones. And so like, yeah, I think speaking to you guys now, I'm realizing that's what it is. It's like none of these doctors have an emotional connection, and I'm trying to like get them to maybe understand, hear me out, but they just don't know. And like, I even got blood work done, and the doctor's like, wow, you are so anemic. And I was like, I actually looked at my hemoglobin level, and I was like, whoa, my hemoglobin level is on point. It's exactly where it should be. But to them, it's like extremely anemic. And I was like, oh no, this is a good hemoglobin level for me. Like when it's at this level, I'm okay. And I was kind of also like, I was hoping that my hemoglobin levels would be low, so that it would give me a reason as to why my head is hurting, I'm having this, my leg was hurt. Like, I just want an answer, you know. And no, my hemoglobin levels was fine, my labs look fine. And so I'm just chalking it up to stress. I'm gonna fight for that CT scan that they canceled. They canceled my appointment. I'm just gonna have to get on the phone with them again tomorrow, or Monday actually, and just kind of rectify that, see what's going on. And I don't know, I think I'm also, maybe it's just stress. Like I'm really stressed. I don't feel it, but I think maybe my body is just harboring some stress and anxiety that I'm not dealing with. And I know that. I know that I'm not dealing with these things because I'm not. I'm on my phone scrolling, like clinging on to things to make me feel better. And I'm not actually sitting down and like processing these things. We basically don't know where we're going to live, and that a little bit of that is stressing me out. I know that everything is in God's hands, but all we know is that we do want to leave this apartment. I think we've just kind of outgrown it a little bit just in this first year of being married. Like, it's a great apartment for us, but it's so tiny. And like, at first when Lucas moved from his old apartment to this one, we thought it was an upgrade. It was much more space, but we're like, yeah, we just need we need a real kitchen, a real dining room. We're married. We need like a big girl apartment. So we definitely want to move out, and we were gonna sublet it, but actually we're just going to let it go. And I think I'm kind of also sad about that. And then in letting go, these landlords are like, there's an ongoing like court case against this unit and one other unit in downstairs. And so if we lose, like if the landlords win, we have a lot of money to pay back, and that's also stressing me out. Basically, they were charging us a certain amount of rent. The government stepped in and was like, hey, you guys are charging them way more than you should. So they took them to court. The government took them to court for us and knocked off the rent $1,000. And so we've been paying super cheap. Like, you would not find an apartment, a 2-bedroom in Lower East Side in Manhattan for the price that we're paying, which is $2,200. So, and also washer dryer in unit. It's just a blessing. It's a 6-floor walk up, but I've gotten used to it. So it really has been a blessing, and we're like, we can't let this apartment go. It's $2,200 for a 2-bedroom. Like, we would never find that anywhere. But it comes with so much like baggage of like this court case, and like the landlords lost, and so we got to keep our $2,200, but now they're appealing it and they're taking it to the Supreme Court of New York and all these things. And like, if they lose, or if we lose, which I don't think we will lose, we're praying that we won't, because they've already lost twice. We've won twice. And so I don't know why they think escalating it will make any difference. Like, if the lower courts didn't think, why would the higher court? Anyway, so they're appealing it in a higher court, and we'll have to pay back the difference of like what we were supposed to pay, which is $3,200, and what we've been paying, because the government says you should pay this amount of $2,200. And it's just so I think I'm physically stressed, and it's just like manifesting in different ways. I'm trying to slow down for the fall and just like face my stress head on. Yeah, we're praying constantly for like direction. We're on Zillow all the time, like, where are we going next? Because moving out of this apartment, we won't get anything for this price, and like we're definitely gonna be paying $1,000 more anywhere we go, and we're gonna be losing a bedroom. Like, it's just a given for the price that we want to pay. So we're gonna be paying like almost $4,000 for like more, at least $4,000, or at least maybe $3,500, I don't know, but like close to $4,000. All the apartments that we've been looking at are that much, and God has blessed us so much that we can make that upgrade. But it's also like, do we want to be in New York City? Do we want to try somewhere else? Like, we love Los Angeles, you guys know, and we've been toying with the idea of moving there for a while. So it's like, is this now the time to make the jump to Los Angeles? And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm rambling. Yeah, do we go to Miami, Chicago, Philly? Definitely not Philly. Dallas, definitely not Dallas. Austin, absolutely not. Really, the only places I want to live are New York City or LA. I'm sorry, I'm spoiled. And So it's making it a little tough because those are very expensive places. We're also like, should we get a house? Like, are we just, you know? But I think we've got one more apartment in us. We definitely have one more apartment in us before we actually buy a house. But we could buy a house. We literally could buy a house right now. And so it's like, oh wow, we have that option. Should we do that? I don't know. We can't buy a house right now, but we could probably buy a house in like 6 months. So it's like, you know, and we plan on traveling for the next 6 months actually. So that was already our plan, was to sublet this apartment, travel all over Europe and maybe Southern America for 6 months because we both have remote jobs, and then come back to New York City to this apartment. But now that we found out that they're escalating the lawsuit, and it's just like a lot of pressure, and just it's not worth it. It really isn't. One thing I kept, you know, saying was like, oh, but God blessed us so much with this apartment. Like, this price, he's helped us save so much money in our first year of marriage because of this price and what we're paying. And I just felt like so much like we couldn't let go of this apartment because it's such a good deal. But then I heard God say one day recently, of like, why do you think I can't do it for you again? I did it for you now. Why do you think you can't let go of this because I can't do it for you again? Am I not infinite? Am I not grand and supreme? And can I not bless you with another good deal? So that's a word, really, because I feel like we tend to just like hold on to like these things and these past like moments of victory and successes, and like sometimes when it's time to move on, we can't because we don't think that God can do it again. And he can do it again. And that's what he's been telling us, like, he can do it again. He can bless us again. And so we're holding on to that, but it's just a little bit stressful because it's like, okay, we're moving out. Where are we putting our stuff? Are we renting a place, a storage unit in New York City? Are we gonna come back to New York City? Or are we taking all our stuff to LA? Are we gonna be in LA? Where are we putting our stuff? I just want to tell you why I'm stressed and why I think all these health things are like manifesting in my body, because I'm just like, there's too many things to think about. So that's just a little glimpse as to like what we're doing. And we know we just have to pray. We just have to keep praying, keep an eye on, just keep asking God for direction, and also just like not being afraid to step out and not know what's next, you know? We know we want to start our travels in Mexico City. Do we go to Europe or do we go to South America, or both? But we know the first country we want to start with is Mexico. So it's like, okay, just go to Mexico. I feel like God will guide us to what country next. We want to explore. We have a lot of countries on our list. We definitely want to see Brazil. We want to see Copenhagen. We want to see Paris. And all of these places we'll be living there for a month. At least 6 months, and then come back. Yeah. It's like, you don't have to have everything mapped out. And I keep reminding myself that we don't have to have everything mapped out. Like, pack up your stuff, put it in a storage unit, it doesn't matter where, and just go. Just go. Just go. Just go. Just go without having it make sense or anything. Just go. Go to Mexico City for a month. Go to another country for the month. Just do it. Do it. Do it. And when you come back, you can figure it out. You have a home in Massachusetts. Like, if we anything, we can just stay with my mom. Or we can stay with his parents in LA, which is probably what we're going to do, while we figure out where we will, like, sign an apartment again. And if after all the travel, we feel like, dang, there's no place like New York City, we'll come back. If after traveling, we're like, I think we want a little bit more quiet, maybe we should go to LA, fine. If there's another city that speaks to us, we will figure it out. I'm trying to calm myself down and just kind of go with the flow, and just also keep seeking God's direction throughout. Those are all my qualms about life, adulting, the state of healthcare in America, New York City, impersonable doctors, stress, anxiety, and being 24. I hope you enjoy. I feel like that's an accurate state of my mind right now. Clean up a little bit with me. Lucas went grocery shopping this morning, and I left the house like as soon as he came back, so I didn't see the groceries. He put them away, and he texted me. He was like, I got you some goodies. I got you some things you like. When you get back home, check the fridge, because he's out right now playing golf. And he got me a key lime pie and some macarons, and I'm so happy. Well, in return, I brought him back some of the Senegalese food that I had this morning. This afternoon, I went to a Senegalese restaurant in Harlem with my friend slash former roommate Cass. We got Senegalese food. It actually was way better than I was expecting. So, you know, the Senegalese, they claim they're the champions of jollof. And so when I went there, I was like, oh, there can only be one thing I get. And I think it was called Thibaugien. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Something Jien. Thibaugien. Anyway, came with fish. It definitely is like, it tasted very familiar. I don't like the grains of rice. I feel like the rice was too small, but the fish like tasted so familiar. The stew, it's just like, oh, I've had this before, but I hadn't. But it just is such a familiar, like, you know, West African familiar palates. It was so good. And then I got, I think they call it sorrel or sorrel. It's kind of like sobolo, but not spicy. It's kind of like the Jamaican, you know, hibiscus drink. I think if you like sobolo but you don't like the spiciness, this is such a good option. It's literally just sobolo without the spicy, but it's sweet. For some reason, the Jamaican hibiscus drinks are like kind of sour, but this is sweet. So it took me by surprise, because I was like, okay, I know it's not spicy, but is it gonna be sour? But it was sweet. I don't think I've had one that was like sweet before, so a good surprise. And I just saved some for him to try when he gets back.
Summer's easier to sum up, winter's here to slow down.
Why it ended up falling through for us. Another thing that we loved about the unit was that it was a new development, so everything is still in the living room. Not everything was completely ready to be moved in, so that it just didn't seem realistic for the move-in date to be in 2 weeks. So